Hey there guys, in this video we are looking at transcribing voice to text using VDO.Ninja. So this is a free way of adding closed captioning to the guests' video feeds. So the way we can do this is we go to VDO.Ninja/transcribe. And that's just a URL parameter like any of the other parameters. And you can add that to direct links, or you can add that to room and invite links. In this case, we're just going to do a basic push-pull, basic link. And I'm going to use my virtual camera since my webcam is already in use. There we go. Now we're going to take this view link, and it works as normal. Now, if we want to add the closed captioning overlay, though, we need to add CC. So any of the views that you want to actually see the text on, you can add CC. And so now when I talk, you'll see at the bottom, the closed captioning appears automatically. So that's kind of neat. Now, if you want to stylize this, there's font size equals 200. So now when I'm speaking, it will be 200% larger. Or I can say font size equals 20, and that's 20% the size, so very tiny. If we want to do custom CSS, we have a couple ways of doing that. In this case, we can have a CSS file, and we just need to target the class, the element ID overlay messages, and then we can use some custom CSS here. We take this file that we hosted, we put it into a URL encoder, and we URL encode it. We need to encode it to make it compatible with the URL parameter. But in this case, we can do CSS equals in the file name. So now whenever I speak, the CSS is adding a rainbow effect. So I can say font size equals 200. And when I speak now, we can still keep the twice the font size and the rainbow effect. So that's kind of neat. If you're using OBS, you can do the same thing with a browser source. When we add a browser source, it's going to be hard to see here, but there's a spot here that we can paste this into here and get the same effect. Okay. If you are using the Electron Capture app, you'll probably want to use this approach, right? So we can put this in here, and then we have the bottom, the overlay in the Electron Capture app. So there's lots of ways to use it, lots of ways to stylize it. And the nice thing about having a CSS file is you can just open up the link and it'll be set up exactly the way you want it. You can have different links for different styles. And yeah. This transcription service is powered by the Google servers, I believe. You'll want to use Chrome in particular, for this to work. I think it probably will work with Firefox and Edge. It's mainly tested with Chrome, and yeah, it should work. Now, if you try to do too many sessions on one computer, if you try to have 30 guests on or 30 microphones on one computer trying to do this, it may not work. You might hit a session limit with the transcription servers, but just one session per one guest should be no problem. If you have 10 guests, as long as they're on different computers, it should also be fine. Sometimes it will use the default microphone. So if that is a problem, you might need to change the default system microphone for it to work correctly. Sometimes if you just change the microphone source here, it may not actually be picked up. And that would be just an inherent limitation of how the service is provided for free. The browser just takes the default microphone. Okay, I hope that helps. So the function again is transcribe to transcribe, and then CC to add the actual overlays, and you can stylize it with CC. Okay, guys, hope that is helpful. Cheers.